Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over a recent proposed change by the Social Security Administration, which would allow for those with disabilities to actually keep more of their benefits and actually receive higher payments. So I'm going to be going over that and the chances of that actually going through. Now, in addition to that, I'm also going to be going over a new proposed piece of legislation that was introduced in Congress. And this would also help those out who are currently receiving SSI in a big way. I'm going to be going over that bill and why this one actually has a pretty good chance of passing, unlike a lot of the other bills that we currently see in Washington. Now, before I get into today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out just real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm. And also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Okay, so this is from the Disability Scoop. So their headline says, Social Security proposes change to SSI benefits. So the Social Security Administration is looking to make a big change to the way that it determines monthly payments for people with disabilities receiving supplemental security income benefits. Currently, SSI beneficiaries can see their payments docked often by 1/3 if someone else regularly provides them with meals or groceries. But under a new plan, that would change. In a proposed rule published this month in the Federal Register, the Social Security Administration said it wants to update its regulations to exclude food from the way it calculates what's known as, quote, in-kind support and maintenance. In addition, the agency intends to tweak its definition of income to allow for this exception. More than 7 million Americans receive SSI each month, with a maximum federal benefit of $914 for individuals and $1,371 for couples. As of January 2022, the Social Security Administration said that it reduced the benefits of 793,000 recipients because they received help with food or shelter. The proposed rule will be up for public comment through April 17th before it can be finalized. However, the plan does not include any changes to the way that SSI treats assistance with shelter, meaning that beneficiaries could still see their payments reduced if they do not contribute to rent, mortgage, or utility costs for the place where they live. Even if the proposal is adopted, the Social Security Administration said it still intends to ask beneficiaries if they buy food separately from others in their household, if they eat all their meals out, and if they receive Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program or SNAP benefits. Disability advocates are welcoming the move to update SSI regulations. Okay, so now I'm going to be playing a 1 to 2 minute clip that's going to be going a little bit more into these proposed changes, just explaining these a little bit more, but definitely make sure to stick around because then I'm going to be coming back and going over another big proposed change to SSI. Watch.
Disability Rights SC says in 2020, 1.3 million South Carolinians are living with disabilities. Some of them receive supplemental security income, making $914 a month, like Melissa Snyder.
I started receiving benefits about when I was 19 and I was in college, and it can be a scary thing, and a lot of people have to fight really hard to get those benefits sometimes.
Some changes are coming to the program that might impact her and others receiving SSI benefits for the better. Anna Maria Connor is the senior attorney at Disability Rights SC.
Right now, if you're on SSI and let's say that you live with your parents, in order to determine how much of your benefits, your cash benefits, you receive, Social Security says you have to report what is defined as or called in-kind income.
Connor says in-kind income is anything other than cash, like shelter and food from a pantry or family dinner. Each of those factors can reduce how much money a person gets each month.
If I provide a free Sunday meal to my relative with a disability, does that mean they have to report that right now? Yes, because it's free and that's somehow income.
But that could be changing soon. Social Security is looking to exclude food from those reduction factors, leaving more funds for things like rent and utilities. Snyder says this will help simplify the SSI program.
A lot of things for folks. It's going to reduce the amount of program rules an applicant or recipient needs to understand. And so what they're doing is taking the food out of the in-kind support and maintenance policy. And that policy in particular has been cited as one of the most complicated aspects of the SSI program.
So that change, if adopted, which I definitely think that it will definitely help a lot of people out. As mentioned before, recipients of SSI actually had their benefits reduced because they're receiving some type of help, whether it be groceries or rent. So hopefully this could help a lot of people out and actually keep more of their benefits and therefore receive a higher payment. Now, in some other good news, there's actually another piece of legislation that is being offered up in Washington, and this would allow SSI beneficiaries to have more savings in case of an emergency. So this legislation is being brought forward by Sherrod Brown. He is a U.S. Senator in Ohio, and previously was actually also brought forward by Rob Portman. He was a Republican senator in Ohio. He, of course, is now gone. We have a new Republican senator in Ohio after he stepped down after his previous term. So this is right from Sherrod Brown's website. It says Brown and Portman introduced bipartisan legislation to reform supplemental security income program to stop punishing Americans for saving for emergencies. Today, the U.S. Senators Sherrod Brown and Rob Portman announced the introduction of the Savings Penalty Elimination Act to update the asset limits for supplemental security income beneficiaries, which would enable beneficiaries to have more savings in case of an emergency without affecting their benefits. The Senators' bill, the first significant bipartisan legislation in decades, would bring the SSI program into the 21st century and ensure disabled and elderly Ohioans are able to live with dignity. J.P. Morgan Chase & Company recently published a study that suggests that current asset and income limits on federal benefits for people with disabilities create barriers to labor force participation and accumulating savings. Per the study, updating asset limits for SSI, as the Senators' Savings Penalty Elimination Act would do, would expand economic opportunity and mobility for people with disabilities. The current SSI program hasn't been updated since the 1980s and punishes these Americans for working, saving for the future, and getting married. Right now, individuals getting SSI are limited to $2,000 in assets. For married couples, it's $3,000. The average current monthly benefit is $585 for individuals. For approximately 60% of recipients, SSI is their only source of income. So what this bill would do, it would update the asset limits for SSI beneficiaries, enabling them to have more savings in case of an emergency without affecting their benefits. And the bill would also amend those caps, which have not been changed since 1984, to $10,000 and $20,000 respectively, and index them to inflation moving forward. So of course for singles, they would be $10,000, and then for married couples, it would be $20,000. So that's quite a big boost and would certainly be helpful. Now, this bill actually has a really strong chance of passing. I'm going to be going over why. So if we look at the bill on the official website here, we can see that it actually had 7 co-sponsors. If we look at the co-sponsors, there are 4 Republicans and 3 Democrats. So this bill had a lot of bipartisan support. Not a lot of support, but you can see that it is evenly divided. It's not like a bill where it's only Democrats supporting it or only Republicans supporting it. We can see that across the aisle, both Democrats and Republicans support this bill. It just needs to pick up more support, which I definitely think that it could earn more support over time if it's one that gains more traction. I think that it definitely could end up passing if they end up getting this bill and pushing it to more senators and lawmakers and creating awareness about this bill. I definitely think that it could help out. So we'll have to see whether or not it actually ends up passing. Now, it would need to be reintroduced in 2023 since we do have a new Congress, but that really should not be too big of an issue. Again, I think this bill has a really strong chance of passing just because there are Democrats and Republicans on board with the bill. It's bipartisan. I think that it would have a very strong chance of passing, but I am definitely interested in hearing all your thoughts and comments down in the comment section below. What do you think about this bill? What do you think about the other proposed change by the Social Security Administration? Would that help you out? Do you think they should do it? Do you think they should not do it? Definitely interested in hearing your thoughts and comments below. But that's all that I have for today's video. I certainly hope that you enjoyed. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.